What is up? Gear Squad, Shane Gear here, bringing another video, and today we are talking about my official favorite headset at this point of all time, especially right now. I use this headset over and over and over every day for many hours. Guys, this is the Drop X Sennheiser PC38X, and it's the headset that I currently have on my head. I absolutely love this headset. Now, I got this a little while back. I did an unboxing. You guys can check that out if you want to. But honestly, this is going to be kind of a full review going over the design, the comfort, how it sounds, you know, putting it through its paces with music, movies, calls, games, of course, and then the mic test. So I really love these, and I want to go ahead and share why I love these with you guys. Now, a little while ago, I also mentioned that my favorite pair of headphones was the PC37X. We're going to compare these two for sure. PC37X, PC38X. Let's go ahead and jump right into it, and let's start with the design, because I think that's the #1 difference, honestly, and I know it's probably really small for a lot of people, but it really is the difference between this headset and this one. There are some sound differences. I'll go through that, but the #1 thing I think people say is, oh, well, I noticed that there's a little bit of yellow on the mic there, and there's no yellow here. On the ear cups, there's a little bit of yellow or goldish color, and on these ear cups, there's not. The ear cups actually look quite different, right? There's kind of a grill pattern here, where there's like a mesh here. That is literally it. The design, I would not buy these because, or I would buy them because of the design. Like if you love the kind of black, matte black, it's very chic. I don't know. I love the design of this headphone, this headset, but you know, I wouldn't go for one or the other because of the design. These are on your head. I wouldn't worry too much about what they look like because they both, for the most part, look pretty similar. So I think either way it goes, it's good. But in general, I do like the style of this headphone, this headset, more than most. A lot of headsets out there are gaudy. They have a lot of flashing lights and stuff. If you want a cool headset, it's gonna come with some RGB and all this stuff. Now, that's not to say that there aren't some really great headsets out there that don't have that. But I just like the matte black look on this, and I think it's really nice. I think more important than the way that the headset looks, though, is the way that the headset feels. This headset feels incredible. The PC37Xs felt incredible. There are really no downsides when it comes to the comfort. I never really even remember that I'm wearing these until, you know, it's time to stop and I take them off and I'm like, oh, that's right, I had these on. Not because I felt like a weight was lifted or anything. They are very light. They're also very pliable. So when it comes to comfort, you know, the adjustment is pretty easy. There's really no difference between the PC37X and 8X. They're both pretty much the same in that compartment. Even though, you know, they're over $100, you don't have to worry about breaking them. You know, I've gotten headphones before, and I'm like, yo, these are expensive. I gotta be careful. I gotta keep them in the box. I gotta put them in a case all the time. And yeah, sure, you should always put these, you know, in a sleeve or in a case or something when you can, especially if you're taking them somewhere. But in general, if you're just running around the house or whatever, and you got these on your neck, or you're just kind of bringing them around, you're fine. They're okay. They're not too, you know, I'm not too worried about them. So I really like the comfort of these. I like the build of these. In terms of the ear pads, they actually are quite different from these ones. Now I think when I ordered these, I got the, I think it's called Velour Ear Pads. They're kind of like a, more cloth-based thing, and it's fine. They're you know, it's good. They're comfortable. It's the same as the band up here. It's this kind of cloth, whereas this is kind of like memory foam. And I think I like the memory foam a little bit better. And I actually have when I bought these, which I didn't have to customize or anything, when I got these, they also came with the Velour ear pads. So you can actually swap these out. They're really easy. You just put your hand inside and you just unclip them. But I like these. There is a difference between the headband here. You'll see that there's kind of like a split in the center of this one up here. And then in this one, it's just one bar. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The comfort level really isn't any different to me. They're about the same weight. I haven't really noticed a difference. I think maybe these ear pads might be a little heavier, but again, you can decide if you want these ones or the other ones. They come in the box. So comfort level, absolutely perfect. I forget that I'm wearing them all the time. I love it. Let's talk about the sound. So I use these for everything, and I mean absolutely everything. When I am gaming, many times, I'll get a phone call, or maybe I just want to listen to some music or a YouTube video. I'll just unplug them from my PlayStation, and this is what I do use these mostly for my PlayStation. I do have them for the PC though, and we'll talk about that. When I take these out and I take the 3.5 millimeter jack, which by the way, I think somebody mentioned the other day, obviously you can take the cord out of this, the cable, right? The cable's right here. You can go ahead, and it is a proprietary cable. This is not, I can actually show you the end here. You would have to buy this from Sennheiser. I mean, they give them to you, which we'll talk about that as well. But you see, this is like a normal 3.5 millimeter jack. I wish it would focus on it and not me. There we go. 3.5 millimeter jack, and then this is like this little tiny jack that plugs into the actual headphone base. And so this is how I usually use my headphones, because I'll just go ahead and plug these into the PlayStation, which again I will talk about. I don't plug these into the controller, but we'll get to that. I plug these into a Astro Mix amp. So it's actually an amp, but I'll unplug them and plug them into my phone. I have the Samsung Galaxy S9 moving on to the 20, which is kind of unfortunate because it doesn't have a headphone jack. But I've got the 9 right now, and when I plug it into the 9 and I listen to some music on Spotify, it sounds fine. If I crank up something on YouTube and I'm watching a video, it sounds great. So I think for casual listening, for music, for movies, videos, for phone calls, I constantly take phone calls with this. I just drop down the mic and just say, hey, what's up? How's everything? Talk to my friends, whatever. Or maybe I've got a Zoom call for work, or again with my friends. I just plug this into my laptop and I'm good to go. And it's just fine. Everything's fine. I do want to specify though, it's fine. It's not great. It's not perfect. When I listen to music with headphones, if I really wanted to get some good sound, I'm probably going to use one of my Bluetooth headphones. Particularly, I have two incredible Sony headphones, and they're great. But I'm not usually like, oh man, I really need this awesome music experience. And so I'm going to use these headphones. I have big speakers. Like I've got a lot of other options for that. I bought these for gaming and music and videos and stuff and calls. They're like a plus. They sound fine on there. But I do want to give a warning. If you are listening to music and you're used to using a closed back headphone. So these are open back, right? They have this mesh here, which means the sound comes out of the headphones. They're not completely sealed in. So the sound stage is here, right? It sounds like the music is playing around you, which is intrinsic to the headset being open back. It's not a feature, it's just part of the headset. I love that, but I do have some closed back headphones as well. These are my tried and true since college. Dude, I've had these for a long time. These are the 350s. No. These are the M50s. These are the M50s, Audio-Technica M50s. I've had them for a long time. You can tell because it's really starting to fray up top. I need to get a new band, but I'm way too lazy to do that. These are closed back. So if I ever want to listen to closed back, high bass music with headphones, I'm going to grab these. But if I just want to listen to music casually, it's fine. I'll just use those. I'll use the PC37Xs or 38Xs. But the bass isn't there as much. That's not to say that open back headphones can't do that. These are the Hi-Fi Men HE350s. These sound great as well. These have some good bass. Now they have to be powered by a lot comparatively to most closed back headphones, but in general, it sounds fine. Let's move on from music, movies, TV, all that good stuff. Guys, let's talk about the games. The games are really what we want to know about. And I think number one is understanding that my preference is for open back headphones. When you're using an open back headphone design and you're playing video games, you can hear things in a larger sound stage. the audio is not being blasted into your ears, it's playing around your ears. And so you can hear a more dynamic stage. You can hear if enemies are over here or over here or over here, or it's not just like in your ear, like left, right. You can hear it more dynamically around you. These aren't good if you have a lot of people in your house, or your room is really loud. If you are, by yourself, or at least you're gaming by yourself, these are perfect. But if you like are gaming right next to your, friend or whatever, they might be kind of annoying, and you're gonna hear a lot of noise from the outside. I live by myself, so when I put these headphones on, this is all I hear. All I hear is the game or my friends in a party, and it sounds incredible. So let's start with some of the games that I play. I play Destiny 2, I play Rogue Company, I play some Paladins. Recently, though, I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077, and I love all of these games, and it helps me massively. Now, in games like, maybe not Cyberpunk, but Destiny 2, where you need to hear your enemies, where they are, the footsteps, even some really basic things like, oh, did that enemy just jump? Did they throw a grenade? What weapon is that they're using? That kind of stuff is really, really helpful when you're playing a shooter like Destiny 2. But even a more competitive game like Rogue Company. Rogue Company, third person, tactical kind of shooter. That game, you need to hear those footsteps. You need to hear, did they plant bomb? Did they throw a grenade? And which one did they throw? So there's a lot of different sounds that you want to hear, and I can hear it perfectly. It sounds incredible. I love these headphones. But when we talk about a game like Cyberpunk, it's actually even more interesting because Cyberpunk has a lot of story in it, right? So it's more like a movie, and I think that's where these really shine. Sure, if you're watching a movie, it's fun. I actually watched The Equalizer to just see how I liked it with these headphones, and it was fine. But when I play Cyberpunk with these headphones, it's almost like the experience is happening all around me, and so it's so much more interesting. I can hear gunfire coming from over here, somebody yelling at me down the street, my car pulling up, and it's just so cool. I love it. It's such an interesting dynamic when you're using these headphones, and I honestly think that they're some of the best headphones that you could possibly buy. Now, I do use these with the Astro Mix Amp. I do honestly believe that if you're going to use this headset, with a PC or a console, you should probably run a mix amp. You do not need to, but I recommend it. These right now are plugged directly into my PC, no amp. I was listening to The Equalizer, like I mentioned, Denzel Washington, and I had an issue cranking these up high enough to like really love it. Now, I did plug in my amp, and I was like, oh, there it is. There's the sound that I want. But without it, I was like, yeah, it's okay. I just wish I had some more sound, especially because you can change the volume on the headset themselves. So it's frustrating because it's so cool when I can crank up the volume and then I can turn it down a little bit here, turn it up, whatever, just right on the headset. But when you can't do that, it's quite frustrating. So I highly recommend an amp and a DAC if you really can, but an amp will be fine, an amplifier. You can find a cheap one on Amazon, or you can spring for a really, really good one on drop if you really wanted. You could do that if you wanted. But honestly, they sound good, but I recommend the amp. Now, this comes into the difference between the PC37X and 8X. These require more power to run. The 37X requires more power to run. If you don't want to get an app and a DAC, especially an amp, that's really all that matters here. If you don't want to get an amp, don't buy these. Buy the 38Xs. They use less power. So you want to not get these, the 37Xs, don't get these if you're not going to get an amp, and instead get these because they will sound better. They will sound better. I've tried this. I plug these into my controller, straight into my controller, and it was fine. But again, it was like, there's not enough power. I can't really hear it. Now, I don't know if the PlayStation 5 controller, if that's different. I'm using a PS4 right now. I don't know if it's different, but for the PS4 controller, you plug this in. The Xbox controller, I've got one right here. You don't want to do that. I'm telling you, you really don't want to do that. Don't get these. These, on the other hand, they're fine. They'll work. They'll work. I still recommend getting an amp. I recommend, honestly, the mix amp is quite good. If you wanted to get something else, you certainly could. I don't really know what amps and DACs work well with consoles. The mix amp just works, but I'm sure you could do a little bit of Googling and find that, there's some other ones that work. Classic USB ones that you can just plug in work fine. But I really like the mix amp, especially because you can change how much of the chat you're hearing comparatively to the game. To me, that's actually the number one reason I like using it. During my streams, I'll go ahead and turn up, my friends because I'm talking to them more. It doesn't change what the streamers, the viewers are listening to. But for me, I can hear my friends more while I'm talking to them. But if I don't want to hear them because maybe some story just happened in Destiny 2, I'm like, oh guys, I need to hear this. I'll turn them all the way down and mute myself. And it just sounds great. But you really want to amplify these, I think. And then you'll have kind of a perfect situation. But again, if you don't want to buy an amp or you're not ready to buy one right now, go ahead and buy the 38Xs. Definitely not the 7. Definitely not the 7. Okay, guys, I think it's time. You guys want a mic test, I'm sure. So,
new day, new microphone test. I actually did a microphone test prior to this, and I realized I had to adjust a couple of the sound settings on my computer because it was coming through really, really quiet. So I adjusted some things, but basically what you guys are hearing now is actually no adjustment at all to the microphone. Originally, I was recording this through OBS, and there were a bunch of adjustments made for this baby right here, my Blue Yeti. So this, of course, is kind of your standard go-to streamer mic. I bought it years ago to just kind of have a mic for me to start off with. But with this, obviously, this I don't use for streams and such. Like this, I just talk to my friends and whatever when I'm playing games and whatnot. But this is what it sounds like. This is what people hear for the most part. I would say that this is mostly representative of what someone in Discord is going to listen to. This is what's representative of what someone in a call is going to listen to, a Zoom call or something like this. I do think there are some channels that you might talk through, like, for example, PlayStation, where it doesn't match up exactly the same way. There's a lot more processing going on when it comes to PlayStation. Discord has some incredible sound work that they do, audio, so I don't know. I think it sounds pretty good there. But you're going to notice a difference in quality here, for better or for worse, because originally I was just recording this video with my Blue Yeti, and the Blue Yeti sounds great. It's not the best thing in the world. It's no XLR or anything like that, but it's certainly much better than a 3.5, jack that just plugs into the computer. Now, this is directly into my computer, by the way. This is not into, a sound card or some sort of USB device or something. This is straight into the back of my computer. So again, there's no audio processing done on this. I only changed the volume, if I changed it at all, when I just put it in for video editing, which I frankly didn't do much of. But this is what it sounds like. I personally like it. Again, there's going to be quite a difference between what you were hearing before and what you're hearing now. But this is what it sounds like. So it's really up to you guys if you want this or not. Personally, I believe that this is the best sounding headset mic that I've ever heard, and the only thing I think that's been better than that is maybe the mod mic. Now, if you guys don't know what the mod mic is, the mod mic would be good for something like this. These are my, again, my M50s, and this you can actually put like a mod mic on, which is just this like separate mic that you could plug in. You can actually get one wired or Bluetooth. So you could get a Bluetooth one that you would just like kind of attach onto the ear cup, and you could just use it that way, or you could get one that's wired and you could also wire it up to your computer. And the reason that they have these is because you might get a really expensive pair of Sennheisers, ones that don't have a mic on it, and you want to use a mic that isn't on just sitting on your computer. So there's the mod mic as well, but I still think that this is the best compromise you can get. If you want one of the best mics, again, that's on a headset, plus one of the best sounding headphones. Once again, obviously open back, then I highly recommend this pair. So one of the things that we obviously talk about a lot is the difference between these, the 37Xs and the 38Xs. So which one should you buy? For me, hands down, I would buy the 38Xs, and there's really only two reasons why. The 37Xs, if you're looking to save a little bit of money, then sure, buy a 37X. Especially if you're on the PC, because it only comes with the PC wires. So you buy this, it only comes with the PC wires. Otherwise, you're buying a bunch of different accessories. But this is basically all you're getting. You're getting this, and you're getting the PC wires. But if you are looking to get any other accessories, whether it be extra ear pads, whether it be the extra cable for a normal 3.5 millimeter that you're going to plug into your phone or into your PlayStation or your Xbox, if you want any other accessories, you're going to start to get more. It's going to cost you more than just buying the PC38X. The only other reason that I highly recommend it is because it takes less power to run. So this requires more power to get a good sound out of it, or the best sound out of it, and these require less, to the point where they recommend these for mobile listening. They recommend them for consoles because the controller can power it without having to, again, make it sound quieter than it's supposed to. So yeah, those are the two main reasons why I would recommend the PC38X over the PC37X. But I did get a couple comments asking, well, what about other headphones, like the Astros, for example? I think the biggest thing that you have to recognize is that these are open back. Astros and Turtle Beaches and all that stuff, they're closed back headphones, which means you're getting a different kind of sound. Don't buy these if you want closed back. If you want, even though the sound quality is incredible and it's giving you that depth and that width kind of the kind of like a fake surround sound, or more like a natural surround sound. Even though all of that stuff is there, if you don't want it to be outside of your headphones, if you don't want to hear people around you, don't buy these. Don't buy these. Buy a closed-back headset. And there are tons of really great closed-back headsets on drop. I just don't own them because I love these. The only closed-back headphone that I have, like I said, are the M50s, and these are old. I don't think they sell these anymore. I think they only sell M50Xs or something like that. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much it. I love these headphones. They're my #1 pair. I wear them for everything. Today was a busy day for me. I was on and off calls on my phone and on my computer. I was on and off my PlayStation. Now I'm on my PC, and I used these for everything. Now, the unfortunate thing is, if you have a new phone that doesn't have a headphone jack, then you're probably not going to use it for that at all. And at this point in time, I don't think there's any, Bluetooth dongle solutions or anything. I know, for example, the A50s, the Audio-Technica A50s, there's actually a couple different, mod hacks that you could do and all this stuff. But for these, it's just what they are. They're right here. If you have cables, you like cords, these are the best, I think, open back headphones you can get. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, but honestly, guys, the #1 thing I want to hear from you guys is, what do you think about these headphones? Let me know in the comment section down below. What headphones are you using right now? Astros? Astros are good, man. I love Astros. They're super, super comfortable. I really, really like them. But again, they're just closed back, and they're pretty expensive as well. Not to say that these aren't, but I think they give them a good run for their money, for sure. Maybe you're using a completely off brand that I've never heard of. Let me know in the comment section. If you want me to buy a pair of headphones and you want me to try them out, let me know. You never know. I might just try and look for a new pair and try them out just because. So let me know that as well. If there's any other gaming products you want me to try out, let me know as well. Either way, guys, I'll see you all online, and of course, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.